Souls to the Dear Souls podcast with your host, Jacqueline. Today, I have a beautiful guest here. She's a good friend of mine. We've actually been friends for a little over a year, and she's been part of my health journey and my spiritual journey. And, I just wanted to kind of bring her in and for us to have a conversation and talk about the things that have been coming up for us. And, just kind of like let the conversation flow and bring out some beautiful messages and allow for our guides to guide us in this amazing conversation that we're going to have and to bring forth information that could really help our audience to understand that we as women, we're powerful, we're beautiful, and we're even stronger when we connect and we're together and we love each other just the way we are. So I want to go ahead and bring in Patty. Patty, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? So excited to be here. Just want to say thank you so much for inviting me. I think that
Yeah,
you're doing an amazing job, and you should keep
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's funny because a little over a year ago, I was on your YouTube channel through, our beautiful patches that brought in some beautiful life therapy for our bodies and activated our stem cells. And that was the first time I was ever on any show, and I was so scared back then, but it was fun. And now look at me now, a little over a year later, right?
you blossomed.
Thank you, my friend. I love you so much.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're just learning from one another, and then it's from our own experiences and our own traumas, whatever, we have to go through. I just consider ourselves as still being babies in
Mm-hmm.
this avatar form, whatever you want to call it, the meat suit, whatever.
Yeah, right?
Like Lady Gaga wears the meat suit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so fun. It's so creative. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, the struggles that us women have in this timeline. And we've had it in many, many other timelines. And we've struggled with, being able to bring out our powers, our gifts, to really bring forth the creative side of us and, just kind of like be able to live in this world in peace, and especially us women being able to get along and have conversations and just be there for each other without the whole, hey, you did this, or the pointing the finger, or, just, kind of gossiping around each other and stuff like that. And this has been something that's been really heavy in my heart for the last, I would say for the last few months, but technically it's been my entire life because I struggle with not really having a lot of women friends, and I never really understood why. Now I kind of understand more of everything. But I want to hear your perspective, and I want to hear your journey with, how you've been able to have, friendships with other women. Did you struggle with that? Has it been always pretty easy for you? How does that look like for you in your own perspective, in your own life?
Sure. So, I'm just like you, no different, no higher, no lower. It's just the people who we connect with. For me, I always try to connect with people through the heart space because this is where I reside. So I'm always trying to do better, always, bring them into the light. But what I understand is that there has to be barriers or there has to be kind of, hey, I don't like that, so don't do that to me. You know what I mean? We just, because we're adults. We're not
Yeah.
babies anymore. We're not stealing a car because we don't know any better, right?
Yeah.
We're just going along. We may have a bad day today. We may have a bad day next week or whatever. But, what I've learned is that I've had some friends that definitely come and go. And I also know that they have some things going on in their life. Not to say that I don't have anything going on in my life either.
Yeah.
But I think that we have to learn to process these things. And so is it our fault? Then is it no one's fault? And all of a sudden it's a misunderstanding, right? All of these things, because words, as we know,
Words
do
are spells.
stumble.
Yeah, no, words are spells. And, sometimes we haven't been taught is to come, if you have something to say to somebody because of whatever you're feeling or because of any information that maybe came through. And there's different ways of letting the other person know, hey, like this came forward, maybe like, hey, what do you think about this or that, versus, hey, you did this to me or you did that to me, or, when you had no clue what the hell you did or didn't do. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we need to be more in our hearts when we approach anyone. It doesn't matter if it's our mother, our sisters, our family members, our friends. We have to always try to be in our hearts when we speak with other people and when we ask questions versus accusations or, just pointing the finger or the gossiping, and I've had conversations with other friends of mine about this, and I'm like, I don't play in that playground. I don't enable those behaviors because to me, it's lower frequency behaviors, it lower frequency energies. They don't bring anything good for the relationship that you have with that other individual. And I believe that it's not what you say in life, it's how you say it.
Well, it separates communion and it
Yeah,
separates everything. So, the
exactly.
separation, if you want to lay in that separation or stay in that separation, then that's your choice because no one else
Exactly.
can make the choices for you, So the thing is that everybody has power and everybody has a sternness and everybody has kindness. We have everything inside of it.
Yeah.
It just depends which one do you want to bring out in that
Exactly.
time. Or should I call it in the now, right?
Exactly. Because there's
I
always the
don't live in
now.
the past, period. I don't live in the past. Things happen. I really don't. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. For example, I heard a story of this guy that was a survival of 9/11.
Oh, wow.
Okay, survivor. The other girl, she was also a survivor, but she was able to not live with the feeling and with the impact of she almost died. Right?
Yeah, that trauma.
9/11 was huge.
Yeah, that was a horrifying time, and it was a lot of trauma that people got from that. That was a horrible experience.
But unfortunately, the guy started tattooing his body with the Twin Towers and what I will never forget. So he invited her to his house and she saw his room that was full of 9/11 memorabilia.
Boy, he's just like living in that space constantly.
You shouldn't live with that because you know what? You can't get out of it. See, so
Yeah.
our soul is not wanting to repeat that, but is it something that they can't forget and they want to stay and they want to collect? It's a collector's, I don't know, I would call it a collector's life where people just want to collect. And oh, this little bunny rabbit brought me back. Okay, these are also called. So that's something that you have to learn to just let go so then you can go forward. Right?
Exactly. And that's a trauma. That's something that, you know what, if you're going through something like that, that's the red flag right there. That's red flag for go get help. You know what I mean? Because it's hard.
They cannot. So this is a person that lives with that story and is that story. I don't want to be in that story. I would drive myself nuts if I had to live with that story all the time. But that's not my story. I went through it, but it's not my story.
Exactly. You're not the story. You're not what happened to you. You just experienced that. That's an experience. It doesn't matter how horrifying or how great whatever the experience is, it's just an experience. And we shouldn't hold on to it. And I get it from coming from someone that suffered through mental health most of my life, and having so many traumas that I've had to go into my deep shadow work, into that rabbit hole and do a lot of work to be able to heal. Get it. It's not easy. And sometimes you don't even realize yourself that you are, that you need help, that you are traumatized, that you are, either it's your depression or anxiety or panic attacks for whatever event it was that you went through. But we have to, now with all the technology and all the resources that we have to go and just open the computer, open up your phone, type in, I need help. You know what I mean? Look for someone to guide you, to help you. There are so many things out there, from psychologists to therapies of MDMA, of plant medicine, all kinds of stuff that can help with kind of shedding off of all those traumas, all those lower frequency energy experiences, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And all these lower frequency experiences, these experiences are something that we have to experience, unfortunately, because we're just babies. It's almost like, hey, don't put your hand in that fire. Well, that fire is nothing. No, don't put it. It's really hot. When I was little, my dad was like, do not go down because that water looks like there's this beautiful covering. I'm like, no, Dad, I'm going to go in there. He goes, don't do it, because if you get wet, you're not going on my motorcycle. He was picking some moss.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I just wasn't listening to him. Something was telling me, he's not right. He's wrong. What does he know?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
right.
it looks great, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It looks great. Makes me cry. Guess what? I got all I went right in. I got myself all wet. I came out and I started crying. He goes, why are you crying? Because I can't go on your motorcycle. That's all I heard. He's like, you can go on my motorcycle.
Oh, boy. You know, and it's those little
Carrying
things.
that.
Yeah.
Carrying that. No, it was a choice that I made, right? So this is what I say. The things that we experience in life are steps for us to move forward.
Yeah.
And if we can't process these steps, then we're going to continue. We're going to use them. They're always going to, until we go up a little more. Okay. So think of it.
Exactly.
Whoop, up a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Okay. You're not a bad person. You're not a bad person. All the, you still not a bad person.
We're just human
Was I a
beings
bad
on this
person?
journey.
Yeah. Was I a bad person when I dropped and I didn't listen to my dad? No.
No.
I didn't know any
No.
better.
Of
Right?
course not.
Is
Of
that
course not.
man that he's collecting all of those treasures from the Twin Towers, is he a bad person?
No.
He's not. But he's
No.
learning from what this is. And nobody should chastise him, but he's already feeling it, like, I can't move forward, I can't grow. And then these people don't learn anymore. They don't want to learn. That's what another problem.
Well, I don't think it's that they don't want to know. I think that in my perspective, they just don't know. They don't know that they can live a better life. They can't experience anything better because their mind is in constant chaos and they cannot see or know that they can get out of this. And
That's
it's a choice. You have to make a choice. You got to say, I want a better life for myself. You know what I mean? And we have choices in life. We could either stay in our suffering, because we create our own suffering. Nobody else creates our sufferings. We do. We can go and blame somebody else for the shit that we're going through, even if somebody harms us. It's never take that and say, oh, that person hurt me. Well, they're a bad person. No, you don't know what they went through. They might not even have wanted to do it intentionally on purpose. They just were not thinking. They were not in the right minds. Maybe they were not in a good space. Maybe they project the shit onto onto that person. And that's when we, loving human beings, we need to stay in our hearts. This is where humanity needs to go, to where be in your heart. Have compassion, empathy, love for that person. Don't judge them just because they're not acting or behaving or speaking the way that you would love for them to do, to speak to you or whatnot. Just say, okay, well, that person is not in a good space right now. I'm not sure what I did, but if I did something, I am, I hope that they realize that I didn't try to hurt them in any kind of way, right? But, it's not your job to change anybody. It's not your job to fix anybody. It's your job to honor them and give them the space. Give them the space so they can have their own journey, their own time. They have to process things. They got to go through their own darkness, through their own suffering. They have to go through that journey to be able to come out on the other side and say, now I see the light. Now I see how fucked up I was. Now I see how mean I was, how I was not a good person when I told this other person X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? It's having that love, man, like that compassion, and again,
and you have to learn that.
You have to learn, and nobody's gonna teach it to you. You're the one that's gotta want to learn it. You're the one that has to go and do your research. You're the one that's gotta go and ask questions. It's not up to the other person, But it's crazy because we've been programmed to think that we always have to go outside ourselves to fix ourselves or make ourselves better or be a better human being. No, it's inside of us. The answers are inside of us, and it's as easy as tapping into our higher selves and allowing us our true essence to flourish, to come out, to express itself. Because if not, then we're living in a fucked up programming, that this matrix is that we've created, because we've created this own crazy matrix of programming, without knowing. And we have allowed all this shit to happen, and then we're going to complain about it? No, do something about it. Don't expect somebody else to do something about it. You do something about it if you want change, right?
Yeah, just how did it start in the beginning? How did it start? Something had to start. What I like to do is I like to wake up in the morning, put my thoughts together. What do I want to do today? And then I start to manifest.
So that's an intention. So you say your intentions in the morning, and then you just allow yourself to manifest whatever you want to manifest during the day.
And I do. All of a sudden today, I said, you know what? I want to go meet some people. I went shopping, as you know, we were talking. It was
Yeah.
in the dressing room.
Yeah, we have that beautiful friendship where all of a sudden I'll call you, you'll call me, and we're in the shower, or we might be in the toilet or something. We're still talking to each other.
That's what a friend does.
Yeah,
It's a friend.
yeah. But
But so the intention was that I wanted to at least talk to one or two people that are looking for something, are looking for something.
an
And
opportunity
one
or
lady
something.
comes around the bend, and I was looking at a dress, and here she is. I look down and I'm like, are you okay? She's like, oh, I'm having knee surgery the 30th. And I said, oh. I go, no, no, no. She goes, no, I had one knee surgery here on this side, and now I'm going to have the other one. You know, all I hear is everybody around my area, they're suffering from knee pain. All of a sudden, like, you know, that's the biggest craze
Well,
is knee
yeah.
surgeries. So we exchanged phone numbers. I'm just going to follow up with her, especially I want to put this on her body. These little stickers, they're amazing. Little stickers, super
Yeah.
powerful.
Can you tell the audience what those little patches are? What they have inside and what they can do to your body when you put on?
Yeah, they're just made out of crystals. So these are organic crystals, and they're made with a plastic tape, and the inside is like this super cool technology. So when you put it in your body, I have another
I would say drop it like it's hot. No, kidding.
no, I got another one. They're in the meridians of the body, right? The energy centers, and they reflect the heat, which our heat is in the infrared spectrum. So then this little crystals, you know, like crystals, what they do, they shine light, right? They reflect, right? Like a little mirror.
Yeah.
So then that's what it's doing. It's just really, really beautiful. I'm very thankful to have this. My website is health-newlife.com. And if you want to connect with me, definitely do that. Me and Jacqueline will have a meeting with you, of course. So what we're learning is, like, you know, we're looking for the meds.
Yeah.
I believe that this is a wearable med because it's working and it's activating and it's rejuvenating and it's accelerating the process of healing and wound repair. So I'm getting energy, I'm getting fast wound repair.
Mental clarity. Let's not forget the mental clarity, because that's been huge. I know for me, between it taking my vertigo away in 3 months, and then, you know, it started helping with my tinnitus, and it, you know, took away the fibromyalgia within 6 months, and it's kept it like gone, you know, and my mental clarity came back because I was losing my memory because of the tinnitus. So, you know, these patches are amazing. I love them. I love them. I mean, I still wear them today. Yeah. Yeah.
Get back love.
Yeah, well, and get you too, because you know we've had our stuff, we've had our you know, different things in our health going on, and these patches has kept, you know, has helped repair, you know, not only our cells but our organs. Everything inside our body is functioning the way it needs to function now. And it takes a little time. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Now, depending on what you have going on, how long you've had it going on, it's going to take time, and patience is key for anything that comes down to holistic health. Okay, and using holistic modalities, patience. You gotta have patience, and you have to believe that those things will work for you.
Absolutely.
You know, I've done all kinds of stuff. I've done from Reiki to past life regressions to, I mean, you name all the different modalities that I've used in the last. And it's been constant. You know, I had to every day do my thing, every day, wanting to heal myself, and it's not just, you know, putting a little patch on. You got to do the inner work for your mental health, because in today's society, mental health is become such a crazy thing. You know, everyone. It's not just, oh, maybe one person here, one person there, like maybe back in the days. It's bad. I mean, everyone, even kids, are experiencing mental health, you know?
Well, if you want to touch upon the kids session, you know, I have children. I'm not going to say their ages. It's a move at the moment.
Yeah, I know you experience your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think these days I'm going to be an advocate, because I don't think that children should have all this information. I think it's damaging to them. They
Yeah.
don't need to see all of this stress,
Yeah.
and they have enough stress in their own little lives, especially with
Yeah.
school. I know school is not the easiest thing because,
Exactly.
I call it the jungle because you got, monkeys and lions and tigers and snakes and all that stuff in the school, right?
And none of them are healthy. None of them are playing together in the playground like they're supposed to and then have fun, right? None of them are.
But I think that's what we're missing. We're missing the real teachings. We're learning the numbers and the reading. Okay, that's
Mhm.
great, and the writing. But I really think there should be more spirituality in there too, and
Yeah.
teaching. And what are you seeing in your dreams? Are you having bad dreams? There should be, so they can acclimate. Because having bad dreams is also very scary. You can carry bad dreams with you all your life and
Oh,
not
yeah.
even reveal it, and that could be a trauma, right?
It can be, absolutely. Yeah,
So
absolutely. Because that's just another realm of your existence. It's not just, oh, it's just a dream. No, it's it's reality. Sometimes your dreams come up for a reason. They bring up stuff that you don't even know why those things are coming out. And sometimes they don't even make sense, but that's past traumas, even ancestral traumas that could be popping in. And they could be confusing because you don't really understand them. You don't really know why is this popping up.
I'm going to tell you one of my dreams. One time, I woke up in the morning and there was a man talking to me. So I kind of scanned back and I got a quick vision. And it was two huge pillars. I mean, they were huge, two golden robed beings.
Yeah.
And we were staring into the nothing, just staring into the nothing. And they were standing right next to me. And I was just, I could hear them talking. And then I woke up and I had a friend of mine. And she's like, "What's wrong, Lee? There's something. What happened to you?" I'm like, "Well, nothing." She goes, "You got robed." I'm like, "I got robed? Robbed?"
Robbed.
No, like you got like christened or something. Something you just got. And I never told her. She's like, "I see you looking up like this."
She was able to see that in you because she's visual, so she could see those things.
Yeah.
So what did she think it was? What came for her in that dream?
Like I got robed. Like, well, because what I'm doing right now and I'm already on my mission. I already know what's happening. And it's, process and release is number one.
Process.
Process. Okay, that happened. All right. And I'm going to release it. I'm not going to talk about it all the time because now you're reliving it as you're talking about it.
Well, it's like diving into your childhood traumas for no reason, wanting to relive that shit every single day, which I get. I did that. I did that for my entire life, reliving the same, oh, my mom did this, my father did that, I went through this relationship, they did this to me, it was always the victim, and all that. And you don't need to relive whatever experiences we already lived. It's done, it's past, you experienced it, let it go. If you need to go into your, childhood traumas to bring it forward so you can heal it, that's a different story. But to kind of stay there in the same old craziness over and over, it's gonna get to the point where mentally that could get you into becoming either schizophrenic or something. You know what I mean? That's no joke.
Right. And I think that the allowing, a lot of people don't know that they're allowed to do that. Okay. So, oh my God, am I allowed to do this? All of a sudden, a little starts to open up. Like a little flower opens up. It opens up more and more and more. That's why they're looking at the lotus, right? The lotus has many, many petals. That's like us. We're the lotus, right? The flower of life. Right? So, one little petal moves over because you're learning something. You're learning that you're allowed to do that.
Exactly.
They teach us that.
Exactly. So give me a time in your life, past, present, now, whichever is happening now, that you experience some sort of mental health.
Okay. So when I was living by myself,
This was before you got married? Okay.
Yeah. I lived by myself for 10 years. I'm a person that loves people and loves to talk to people, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So weird. And I started thinking, is this how I'm going to end up for the rest of my life?
Interesting.
That started festering because it was a lump of 10 years. And I just passed out of a relationship where I was supposed to get married. And it didn't happen. And I was in a relationship for 6 years. Everything was fine. No big deal. And then all of a sudden, He's like, oh, I can't go through with it. And I said, oh, okay, great. So and then he came back and I was like, yeah, you know what? If you did that to me, you're going to do something else.
That's
So
true.
that right there, I saw the red flag, and then he kept coming back again and checking in. And, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. And it
Yeah.
wasn't meant to be. It really wasn't. Because my
Yeah.
husband now, I predicted him and I was low. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, guys,
Nope, that's not him.
you can try, but that's not him. So I think the whole thing of being alone, that was traumatizing. But
Yeah.
you know what? I still have dreams of being in my apartment. Like, oh my God, I'm living here again, and they're so real, so real. But why is it coming back? I mean, I'm over it already. It was really, really traumatizing.
Yeah, you've been married for how long?
20, gosh, almost 30 years.
Holy crap. And you got how many kids? 2 beautiful kids. Boys, which I think are fat boys. Or
It's all
maybe one.
boys. The dogs, everybody's a boy. I have
So,
a house of
so you're
boys.
the only girl except when your mom is here from Portugal and she's like hanging out with you there. And that's the other woman
2
in the
girls.
house. 2 girls.
Another boy, my dad.
Funny. Oh, I
But
live by
listen,
boys.
you just have to think that I know a lot of spiritual people are working and doing all that, and that's great. I don't say anything about it. My whole thing is I do love the QHHT. I do love that whole area like that because the person's looking at it. The person is talking. The person is seeing. The person is processing. The person is letting that allowance, like, oh my God, I didn't even know. Really? The awakening of the person. That's how you can process it. You know what I mean?
Let's tell the audience what QHHT is because a lot of people don't know.
It's quantum healing hypnosis session. And it's really great because you have to find a really good practitioner. I mean, I can do it, but I also follow a lot of people that do it. And you know what? In your guidance, you're going to find out who's good for you.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Your pendulum. Is this one good for me? Right?
Yeah.
Do your dowsing rods. Oh my God, dowsing rods are so great.
Yeah, those too.
Do your body thing. Is this,
Yeah, tap into your higher self and ask, if this is, your intuition tells you if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
If you could trust that person or not. Like I have this amazing girl here, her name is Katarina, and she does Reiki, she's done QHHT sessions on me, and I trust her. I trust her 100% because she's a lovely person. She's full of love and just a great heart. She's a really, really good human being, and I just trust her, and I just wouldn't do it with anyone, just anybody. These are things that, we all have our gifts, but you have to also see where does that person live in the sense of their energy and their space. Are they constantly in trauma? Are they constantly, trying to point fingers at other people? Are they living in a low frequency state, or are they in a higher frequency state where they just want to truly help people and bring forth light? Regardless of what their traumas are or their darkness, how do they see? How do they use their gifts to bring you to help you through your own stuff? Is it darkness? Is it light? Where they're coming from? And I'd rather work with someone that's in the light, that instead of seeing something like so horrifying and dark, they could actually kind of like switch it around and say, look, out of this experience, this, we could see it in this different perspective versus this lower frequency perspective, and you switch it. Because I know, like, with me growing up in shamanism, I'm Cuban, and, la Santeria, everything has shifted. Everything is, everything is like, dark and evil, and, and there's a lot of good in it. I'm not saying there's not, but nowadays, Santeros are all about your husband's cheating on you. Oh, this person that, and all these horrible, dark, crazy things. That is what got me away from shamanism in the first place. Back then, because I was being taught something that wasn't 100% true either. Not in religion, not in that, not in a lot of things. And now I'm realizing, wait a second, shamanism is not that it's bad. It's the people that are using it, that are seeing it in a certain way. Yeah, so it's like I follow shamans now that are in a different light, and they speak in a different light, and they do things in a beautiful light. Even if it's darkness, they still turn it around and make it into the light. It doesn't have to be horrifying all the time.
Oh, darkness. I have to interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, don't be sorry.
Doing meditation, and I always do meditations in the water because close your eyes and you just see super fun things. I do. And I got out of the shower and I was still in that state of meditation. And I was trying to do remote viewing as well. All of a sudden, it just became really, really dark, like darkness. And I started seeing something like thing. And I was like looking at it. It was such a beautiful, I don't know if it's the darkness, but it was like this beautiful dragon face, but it was a woman face and it had the scales. Like I could just see it here, and it was going like this, like moving like
That
this.
sounds to me like an old ancient goddess.
I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you, it was like rainbow color. It had yellows, greens, beautiful. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe this is the darkness because it's dark. And all of a sudden, I'm actually seeing a being coming through and showing me, look, I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful because I could see it. It was like glittering from the sun, but it was in the darkness. It was just so, I've never seen it.
Well, that's beautiful. Just because you're in the dark doesn't mean that it's evil. It means that you just maybe
It
need
didn't
to
do
be
anything. It didn't consume me. It didn't give me bad vibes. It didn't make me angry in the house. It was just,
You know what I see you know what I just saw when you said that? I saw like you jumped into another reality, into like another realm, and you saw that. You were not, because sometimes, and I heard this in another podcast from she's a channel. Her name is Gaia Raw, and I love her. She actually wrote the book, The Sophia Code, which I'm starting to read. I got the audio, the first chapter. She gives it to you for free, and I just ordered the book. And she explained how she had to go up to Mount Shasta to do this thing and get everything together because Sophia, Earth, universe, whatever you want to call it.
it's Gaia Sophia.
Gaia Sophia. Yeah, I think Gaia is Earth. If that's understood, all these things, I think Gaia is Earth and Sophia is the universe. It's how I understand it. So it's like, so she had to go and do all these things for I don't know how long, and then all of a sudden she's sitting like with her computer, her laptop on her legs, and everything just went dark. And the only thing she could see was her leg and her laptop. And then Sophia came through. Thousands of ascended masters came through. Like she had all these amazing, beautiful beings come through and told her pretty much, you better start typing because we got a lot of information and you got to put all this in a book. And that's what the Sophia Code book is about. So see, sometimes you have to go into like a like kind of like a remote viewing of it has to be dark. Everything just kind of disappears around you, and then you go into this other different realm, different reality, and it's beautiful. And it's whatever being,
like, just poof. It was all black.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's pretty cool. Can I tell you a dream that I had? So a few nights ago, I'm sleeping, and I don't know if I think it must have been like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's usually when things happen for me. And all of a sudden, it's like going to this. I'm sleeping. I know I'm sleeping. I'm gone. Like I'm knocked out. And all of a sudden, I see myself, and my eyes are starting to move really fast, and I start seeing all this like symbols and all these like codes and all these things coming through, and it was like all like. It was just the weirdest thing. And I saw myself like going like this and trying to like put stuff together and decoding things. And my eyes are just moving really quick. And I'm doing all this. And I don't know how long it was because, in those other realms, time is non-existent. There's no time. So I don't know if I did that for hours. I don't know if I did that for a few minutes. But it was just the craziest, most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, what the hell was I decoding?
Crazy, right?
What was I decoding?
You were working.
I was working on something, and then I told my husband, and he's like, and I said, you know what? I've always been really good with technology. Even with AI, I know how to speak to AI and ask a question without even studying.
You're such an Actuarian, you know that, right?
Most probably, yes. I haven't been told anything yet, but I'm sure because I know technology. And my husband's like, how did you learn how to do all this? And I'm like, I don't know. I just get downloads, I get information, and I just go and do stuff. I just look at what other people are doing too, and it just comes to me. It's like I don't have to read a manual. I don't have to go into tons and tons of research. I just look at something and go, oh, okay, and I just do. And it felt something like that in my dream where I was just like, working through things, and I'm just like, I gotta look into that. What kind of specialist do you think? Because I know you see things. I know you know things.
You just told me what's your specialty.
Psychology. So funny because I studied computer programming when I was pregnant with my son. That's funny.
Funny is also that, so I had the same thing, but mine, when you were saying you were moving these, I had a dream last year that I was somewhere and there was a spider, and this big spider came and it dropped all these little babies, and I was like killing the babies because I didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
Then I woke up, was in the bathroom, went back to sleep, started seeing these codes going like this. So this, that, and they were actually like higher, like weird structure codes, like this
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
like T's, like with another thing, like just weird things. So it was coming towards me this way, and it was coming. So I was watching it, and I wasn't really sleeping yet. I was just falling into that realm. So I knew it. To me, it was like, I felt like those are the codes to the spider dream, because right at this part, it was like, oh, here's the spider. I was
What
like,
does the,
whoa.
do you know what the spider symbolizes? I have no idea.
We'll have to
I
figure
thought
it
you
out.
probably knew.
That's the next one.
Well, yeah, we have to see, because sometimes, we have dreams and there's little symbols in our dreams that they mean something. And it's sometimes a message that we're getting from, other timelines, other dimensions, because we're not only living here, we're living in multi-dimensional reality anyways. Yeah, we're not just, our energies. If you have a thought, or you make a decision and then you don't do that decision, these are little things I'm learning. That decision is energy. That has to happen somewhere, because you already put it out. So you might not live that decision that you should have maybe done or not done, or whatever, but in this timeline, but it's happening in another one, because it has to go somewhere. The energies have to go somewhere. Thoughts are energy, words are energy, frequencies, you know what I mean? That's why my husband now and I are learning a lot, like, watch what we're saying. When we're playing, but you gotta be very careful, because listen, you can spell someone like that. You can spell them in a good way, you can spell them in a bad way. And it's this. So we
I
have to
wish
be
we were
mindful.
just psychic. Can't we just be psychic again?
We are psychic. You kidding me? We
I
are
mean,
psychic.
speaking. What's that word?
Oh, the telepath thing, yeah. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming.
It's not
That's where we're
clear for me.
going. Well, that's how we used to be back in other times. You know what I mean? And we're going back to that existence where we're not gonna need to verbalize things all the time. We could just look at each other and be like, and having a conversation, and and I know what we're saying. You know what I
Love it.
mean? And those are our private conversations. We're in front of other people. You know what I mean?
Like,
So yeah,
twins.
like twins. I believe we're going that way. There's a lot of different, podcasts that I listen to, different, mediums and astrologers and healers and channels. I follow all kinds of beautiful, amazing people that are doing amazing work right now and helping that, with the shift of the earth and the new earth and all that good stuff. And, I'm just wanting to do the same thing. I'm wanting to help humanity. I'm wanting to help with the shift, because we need it. We need to live in a better earth. We need to live better lives. We need to just be better people all around. You know what I mean? And I think we should give each other the love and the grace and the space to evolve into
Amen.
a beautiful, beautiful energies that we are. All right. Yeah, I'm here,
I agree.
Dobby. But yeah, those are things that, I wanted to talk about, and talk about, like, our suffering as humanity, and as especially women. We are very, very powerful beings. And again, not putting the men down. The men have a beautiful role. The masculine has a beautiful role within, because we all have feminine and masculine energies. It's which one do you want to use? And I know I was very masculine my whole life. And now I've learned to be more feminine, or at least understand what the feminine energy of mine is, and love it, and embrace it and balance it. Because I'm always in my masculine, that doesn't always work. The feminine is beautiful. The feminine is powerful, is strength, is courageous, is creative. It's not combative. It's not. It's really not. It's the masculine energy.
The masculine energy has more of the Trojan, I want to say. Like, it wants to compete, right? The gladiators, I want to be stronger, I'm better, and all. I'm, me. And instead of being the me, I'm better, I'm stronger, hey, let's go and do this and experience this and have fun with this, instead of retracting and then putting those,
Yeah.
you know
And
what I
it's
mean?
just, again, our fears, our traumas, because it's not only what we pick up in this lifetime. We carry baggages from our ancestors without even knowing. And there's the energy signatures of trauma that we take with us. I know that with my grandmother's side of the family, especially the women in that family, the majority of them committed suicide, and it's crazy. And some of the men of the sons of the family ended up drowning. There was like a I
That's
don't even
sad.
yeah, it was like a curse. The evil call it a curse, and I ended up going to, break that curse completely. I like in healing just so I could help heal my 7 generations back and 7 generations forward, because I feel that it is my responsibility. I feel that's my responsibility to do that,
And you're doing it. And you are doing it because you're feeling that you want to do that. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So then to evolve and better yourself, that is a good thing for you.
Yeah.
So you are processing and you are releasing, because that's what we should do.
That's what we
Process
should
and
do.
release. If you go to a psychiatrist, any of these special people, one of the problems that I have is that they make you revisit everything so then you can process it, but they don't make you lose it in that one session. You have to come back and
Well, yeah.
again.
You know what
12 sessions.
Well, you know what I've learned with that? It's not that I was ever against, going to a therapist. It's just, to me, a therapist's job, in my understanding, depending on the therapist too, because it's individual. Not every single psychologist or therapist is the same. Everybody has different techniques. But the ones that kind of like use the psychology that they've learned in school and then bring in some of the holistic teachings and stuff like that, I put it together. It actually helps the process of confronting your own inner demons, your own, and doing your own shadow work, and being able to do it a lot faster than just kind of sitting there and just talking about your stuff, which is good. It's not bad. But then what do you do with that? Because it's not on the therapist alone. It's on you too. Quick, do you want to open and heal yourself? Because if a therapy takes 4 years for you, that means that there's something that you're not willing to confront. It's not on the therapist. It's on you. You know what I mean? Again, we don't go outside with somebody else to find healing or find anything. We go inside of ourselves. The therapist is great. And I have nothing against that. For me, I'm all about it. Let's do it. But what are your tools? What are your techniques for, helping if I'm stuck as a human being and I have a horrible trauma, like let's say my previous car accident that, the car flipped and, luckily nothing happened to me, but my husband had neck surgery, 27 staples. We lost our dog in the accident. How do you really help someone that is going through that type of trauma and being able to confront that and releasing it a lot faster than let's say 4 years or 6 years down the line? You know what I mean? Because even though time is just an illusion, but we are in this timeline, we're on this earth, we're living this reality right now. And sometimes a year or two, if it's not helping a person now, what about if that person commits suicide? You know what I mean?
Well, that's because they have more than just that one accident.
Exactly.
They have stack on stack on stack on stack on stack.
Oh, yeah.
And, too much will blow this, right?
We'll blow it up. And I
Steam
get
will
it.
blow up.
Yes. And
But
I'm
the
talking
thing
from my
is
own
that
experience. Yeah.
you have evolved. You are not sticking with it. You had your accident.
Yeah.
You had your accident. That happened. I also had a traumatic accident. My car flipped. I forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah, we have that experience. We'll talk about that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But every time I get in a car, I'm not afraid because that's not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to live a life of being afraid.
No, of course not. It's a choice.
I know that that's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Right? So even these traumas or problems, it's not that, I don't know, maybe I just always tell people, process it and release it. It's not you. Your story is not you.
Don't make it yours.
You are evolving constantly, just like a flower, always opening.
But not everybody could see that, Patty. Not everybody, because I tell you, I couldn't see it. I couldn't. For the life of me. The only
Because you
thing
need a strong support system.
I didn't have a strong support system in that moment. Yeah, we don't always do. No.
Remember how the old times we had the women together, we had all of these pods where we can go there, and then we don't have that. We just have specialists.
Yeah.
And you pay for them.
You do.
But
You know,
yeah, we should be
and some
getting
are great,
water
and
for
some
free. We should be getting electricity for free. We should be getting a lot of things for free, but we're not. That's
yeah,
why we're in this conundrum problem.
all that is gonna shift, all that's gonna change. It's coming. I know it. I know that we're gonna be in a different, different way of life. I'm very hopeful. But back to the whole mental health, because that's something that, it's really, really important for me, just because of what I personally went through. You go through certain traumas, and like you said, you stack them up, stack them up, stack them up, stack them up. You never really get help. You never even realize that you need help, because you are in, like, it's happening to me, not for me. I'm in victim mode. This is reality. This is really happening to me. I'm really fucking living this. This is not bullshit. But the more you relive that trauma or those traumas, the worse and the worse you're gonna get. The deeper into that dark space, into that suffering, space you're gonna get in. And to get out, it's a bitch. It's a freaking bitch. You
Yeah,
gotta be
because you
willing to do the
believe that
work.
you're in there. You're
Yeah,
believing it.
you believe that it's yours. It's
You're
like an illness.
believing your
It's
belief
it's
system.
yeah, it's the programming, because we've been so programmed to, again, go outside of ourselves for help. We are powerful creators. We could go within ourselves to get healing, to ask for that healing from a higher self, from the universe, from our guides, from our ancestors. We can do energy healings. And I know I've done it. I've been doing it for years.
Okay.
I mean, for almost a year and a half now.
Think of it like this lifetime, we're living here, we're walking, we're crawling, we're falling, we're getting up, we're eating, we're throwing up, we're whatever, okay? We're doing it. We're doing it all the time. But the things that we do are not us. They're just things that happen. And we, if you're not a murderer or, like something that's really, really, really bad, we're just talking very light surface stuff.
Yeah, this is very light surface. We
Very,
haven't
very
gotten
light
really deep
surface.
in.
We're not going to say, hey, you killed somebody and you can forgive yourself. We're not talking about that right here. Okay? We're not talking about that.
No, that's not what
We're
we're
talking
talking about.
about something that happened to us, and then we're going to have to process it, right? Talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
And to empower yourself is like, okay, I didn't go through with it. I burned myself. I got hurt. And now I have to get better and stronger and live life to the fullest that I can. Because if you don't, then life will consume you.
It will.
And
You gotta
nothing
want to
will be
live. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, because after the accident, we, like I said, we lost our dog, and then a month later we found Maka, and Maka's been such an amazing baby to me and to my husband, and she's my girl. She's always been right next to me, going through all the shit with me, and poor baby. I mean, she took on so much of those energies that I could tell she was not her normal self, probably. Authentic, beautiful, sparky self wasn't her. She was very like, very boring, wouldn't even play with toys. She just had no personality. And I'm like,
that's
could that been, and I look back now and I'm like, could have that been my energies and my trauma? She took that in to protect me, to help me in my process. Because no, I look back, I look now and see her, how she is, and she is like playful and fun and loving, and she's so full of life, and she's just a completely different dog. And I see a lot of my Kalia in her, a lot of my dog, the one that passed away. I see a lot of her soul energies, signatures on her, in her. And it's just beautiful to see that as I'm evolving and I'm growing and I'm healing, she's doing the same. And it's interesting that I'm able to see myself in her, while I'm healing, because I'm still healing. This is a every day forever thing. You never stop healing, because there's so much that, like myself, I've gone through so much shit that I cannot expect to heal in a day or a month or a year. It's gonna take a long time. But do you want?
Why?
Because there's things that always pop up. There's always things that you probably has suppressed or pushed down or pushed away since you were younger. Maybe who knows, if like a rape or somebody did something to you, like somebody betrayed you, and you think, oh yeah, I'm over it. Well, maybe not. Because you know what, in that shadow work, some shit might come to the surface, and you now need to deal with it. You need to handle it. You know what I mean? So no, not everything is quick like that. It can be for some people, but not for everyone. It just
Depends
depends
on
on
the situation.
yeah, it depends on the situation and how
Yeah.
long it's been, and how deep did you like push it away? Did you suppress it? Did you hide it? Are you willing to confront it? Do you really, really want to confront yourself? Because a lot of it is you. We create our own sufferings. We bring in our own shit, regardless of how we were brought up. We have a choice later on to decide, do we want to be this person or do we want to be this person? Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? We have a choice. Sometimes we don't even know we have a choice. And you said that earlier. Sometimes we don't know if we have the permission to really be happy. And we have to give ourselves that permission to really, really be happy and to know that we are the drivers of our own life. You know what I mean? Not someone else.
We're the creators of our own path.
Exactly.
You have your special gifts, I have mine.
Yeah.
I may want to go left and you're going to go right, but we're still going to come back.
Yeah. How can we help each other? How can we do something together to lift each other up? How can we help other women or other men that are struggling with things? How can we be at service
You
for
have
them?
to be sovereign.
Yeah.
The only way that you will do that is when you're sovereign. And sovereign means that you're okay. You are okay. You're okay. That's being sovereign. I accept myself. I love being by myself. I love being with myself. I know that sovereignty is allowing yourself to be with yourself and then releasing all of that. And then that's when you start to manifest. Then that's when you start to dream. So, you know how Macy's, that big sign in Macy's in New York City says, believe? Well, believe it.
Believe it. I told my mom that the other day, and I said, Mom, miracles happen. Miracles are real. We create our miracles. Manifest the miracle you want and believe that it will come, to fruition. It will happen. Dream again. Start dreaming. And it's funny because I have my oracle cards, and one of the cards that came up for her was to start dreaming again, to start believing.
I did that.
You know what I mean? And it's like, hello, I'm like, we have the power to do what we want.
We are blessed. And this is the
Yes, we are. Yeah. And we have to be kind. I have one little thing up there that says kindness. We have to be kind,
People don't have kindness. It makes me cry.
Yeah.
People don't have kindness. They just have,
I would say some people, because not everybody. Some people. Some people have kindness. Some people, even though they might not show the kindness, they have it inside of them. They're just afraid to show that they are, that beautiful, kind, amazing people because they don't want to get hurt. So they hide their kindness because of fear of somebody, using them or, hurting them or, so there are a lot of kind people in the world. There's a lot of loving people. They're just fucking afraid because we human beings.
There's a lot of people that take advantage of other people too. So sometimes that kindness, you always have to, like you, I love how you do that and say, hey, this is me. These are my barriers. I'm fine. But
yeah, I had to learn to do that. Well, I had to learn to do that because the way that I used to be was that I was an open book to everyone. And I thought that by me being an open book to everybody, that that people would love me and people would accept me and they would see me for who I was. And no, they actually took advantage of me. They did a lot of things that, I was like, why? Why would somebody want to hurt me when I'm just being an open book? I don't have to lie. I don't have to, say anything that is not true. So why are people doing this? And then I realized that being an open book is not always good, especially not to everyone. You have to have your boundaries. You have to protect your energy. You have to know who you want to engage with. Who do you want in your circle? And it's not that we're judging anyone. It's just that we have to protect our energies. We have to be very, it's like a sacred thing. This right here, this is our energy. We have to protect it. We have to love it. We have to take care of it. Because if we don't do that, nobody else is going to do it. People are going to look. One thing that I learned is that people will do to you as much as you allow them to do to you. People will speak to you in ways that you allow them to speak to you. And that could go either way, good or bad. It doesn't matter. It's how you allow things to come forth in your life. See, I've set boundaries. I've learned to set boundaries with myself, first of all. I've learned to set boundaries with my husband, with my mother, with my sister. I've learned to set boundaries, and it works great because you know what, Patty, you're my friend and I love you to death. But unless it's an emergency after 8 o'clock at night, you know not to call me. Does that piss you off?
No.
Not at all. You understand? And I've told you, I'm like 7:30, 7 o'clock, I'm disconnecting. This is my disconnect time because I need to give that to my mental health. I need that. It's for my own mental health. I can't be available for everybody every single time at any time that they want to call. And what about if I'm sleeping at 9 o'clock that night? You know what I mean? No, I have boundaries, and I've said that for years now. And whoever wants to be in my life and wants to criticize that, well, then go ahead and criticize it. But I'm not changing it. Now, if it's an emergency, hell yeah, you better call me. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I will pick it up. I've done it with my son, my
Yeah,
whole life with him. Yeah, I will do it. I'm that type of person that I'm your girl. And if something is really bad happening, I will be like, hello, what's going on? What can I do? Do you just need me to be right here on the phone with you? I will do that. But just to kind of chit chat around board, you know what? No, because I have to have my space. I gotta have my own little time. And I do it now with my husband. Sometimes he'll come around and I'm reading a book and he'll want, and I'm like, let me finish the book. You know what I mean? Before I would just drop the book and see what he wanted. Now it's like, no, if I'm reading, I'm very adamant about my time and my space because I never knew how to have my own time and my own space. I was always about everybody else. Take care of people, be there for everyone, but who the heck is there for me when I really need it? So no, I have boundaries. There's nothing wrong with audience. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries. It's healthy. Okay. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health. You have to, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's not like set boundaries in a bad way. Your words, use your words wisely. Be loving, be caring.
I think working out is also very good for mental health. I think going for a run, because you know what? Everything I heard today, and it really resonated, our spirit and our body are a marriage.
Yeah.
So we really need to walk every day. You need to do that.
We need to be out in
the body
nature.
needs it. That's mental health too, because
Yeah.
you're gonna burn it out. Something's mad at you. You're gonna do it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's this much better. Because remember, mental health comes also with chronic stress. You're putting that stress on your body. That's why I wear this too, because it helps me calm down the theta, the delta, the gamma, the beta waves that we have, right? So then that calms you down.
You know what I found out? Why we have so much mental health? This is my perspective. Because our spirits or souls are not aligned to our human vessel, to our human experience here. We're not accepting our human experience as our souls are like so separate from this vessel, from everything. No, it's all one. We're all one. Everything is together. So if we put everything outside of us and our human experience is not allowing for you to connect with your spiritual side, with your soul, with your higher self, with the universe, you're going to be in fucking chaos the whole time because you don't know who the fuck you are. And I'm not talking about
we're babies here.
I'm not talking about religion. Religion it's what we have created as humans. I'm talking about spirituality, like really tapping into your higher self, not fucking spiritual. I'm not saying you can't go read the Bible and get some information, some foundation from there. But you know what? Even that, I was talking to Rich, my husband, the other day, and I said, look, I think one of the things that's helped me and be able to be in this spiritual journey and ascend in all this information and knowledge and my energies ascend more and more is because I didn't have the foundation of a religion. I didn't have a foundation of knowing that what the Bible said, and that was just the only way. I didn't have that. I had the freedom to believe in whatever the hell I wanted to believe. And if I went to church and I was sitting there and the pastor was reading the Bible and something didn't resonate with me, I'm like, that's not true. And I will have those experiences. And I don't know the Bible for shit. I don't. My husband is the one that knows it very well. But you know what? For me, I'm so glad I don't have that foundation. I'm so happy that I don't have that foundation. Because if I did, I would be struggling more with the truth versus knowing the truth that's coming forth. So, yeah. What do you think?
Good job.
Did you have a religious background upbringing?
Of course.
Catholic?
Of course.
Yeah. Like Catholic
it's not me.
wasn't that bad.
I'm not a Catholic. I'm just me.
Yeah, you're just you.
Doesn't mean that
I was raised Catholic too.
Follow that faith, but I'm still a good person. So what I got out of that was that, you have to be good to people. You're not to hurt anybody. That, I never hurt anybody in this lifetime. That's not my thing. I don't want to do that. So then I do.
Exactly, it's a choice. It's funny because I have never intentionally hurt someone, but I know that sometimes with my decisions, I'm sure I have hurt some people. and with my actions. Not that it was intentionally like evil, malice, like, oh, I'm gonna go hurt that person. But sometimes we do hurt someone without even knowing.
That's very true.
That is true.
Why wouldn't that be true?
Yeah.
People do that all the time. It's called misunderstandings,
Yeah. You can misconstrue a message on a text or on an email. Even sometimes when you're on the phone, you're like, wait a second,
it's
that's
very
not what I was trying to say.
It's so sad because we should know each other.
We should.
Okay,
But
so
we
that
don't.
right there is not even allowed in my realm. Because if I know you for a long time, I already know you. I know you're cranky, or I know your patterns. That's why we're friends, because we know each other. So then,
yeah, no, we you and I have gone through our stuff, and I've had my moments where I'm like, I need to take some time away from you girls, and I need my own space. Don't take it personal, and and it's just like, okay, it's nothing to do with me. Jackie needs to go and do her thing. She needs a few days of going into her own shadow work, and she doesn't want to affect us. And that's something that I've learned to do, not to vomit all my shit onto people.
Everybody has their own opinions, so you cannot chastise somebody that is sovereign, that's attacking you, that never attacks you. Like all of a sudden, what happened? Yeah. That's miscommunication, and that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We're sovereign. We have miscommunications. Then we have trauma. Then we have mental illness. How are we actually living? I don't even know.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm like, shit. I'm here with my own, because I could only talk about my experiences. I'm like, I don't even know how the hell I'm still here, Well, I know how I'm still here. I made a choice. Well, like the year that my grandmother passed away, which was January 16th of 2022, I was already working. I had my business, and I delved even deeper into the work that I was doing, not taking care of my mental health, even from the accident, even from previous before the accident. Never took care of my mental health, never went to see a therapist, never went to do any kind of work during that time. I was in severe depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I wanted to die every fucking day of my life. After she died, okay, I was suicidal. My husband had to hide the guns, okay. So it was horrible. I mean, I could barely sleep. I was having nightmares all the time of my husband leaving me and cheating on me, and all those dreams, and I'm like accusing him, like I'm having a dream, and I wake up and I'm freaking mad at him, like it really happens. All these things were happening, and that's why I say my poor husband, because he had to deal with my shit. Not that I haven't had to deal with his own shit, but he had to deal with a lot of my shit. But we both dealt with our shit at the same time as we were healing and growing and going through our shit, because that accident wasn't easy.
How about this? We don't have shit anymore. You just have healing and growing.
Yeah.
And
but
we don't
what I like to talk about
shit anymore. We are healing.
Yeah, you're right. But for the audience, I like for them to know that there is a dark side. There is that horrible experience. But out of that, it's a choice. And you could choose. You can choose to, make a decision to heal yourself and get better. Hey, look at that face.
I get a dog that will help you through it all.
Yeah, look, he's talking. He's giving us a message.
See?
Say hi. Yes. What do you have to say? Tell me. Yeah? For real? You tell the audience that it's all about love? That we need to love each other? Yeah. I love you. But yeah, we have to talk about the truth. We have to talk about our experience. We have to talk about, well, how did we get here? To this point of being in a better space. We had to go through a lot of shit. We had to go through a lot of darkness, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of, everything. Because if not, how were we going to get here? That's what this third dimension world is. You got to have that good and bad. You got to have the light and the darkness, because this is what this third dimension is about. This is where you come and experience shit, and then you choose to go into the fourth dimension, which is your heart chakra and be in your heart, and then as we keep ascending in dimensions and frequencies, we go and we start opening up all the other chakras, and we keep ascending, and we keep being better human beings and living a better life, and be better people, and just learn to hold space for those that are not able to see it yet, and try not to have any judgment. I know I'm guilty of not always having the patience and being in my heart, and I'm learning, I have someone very special dear to me that is not in my life right now, and I don't want to talk about that again. I've talked about it in another podcast, but I've had to learn that I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep eating, and I'm going to, doing the things I need to do, because one day that person will come back in my life and I will be able to have a better relationship, and I learned to hold space for that person when they're not okay, And everything is a learning process, everything. We're not 100% perfect. We're not always 100%, in our hearts, or, wanting to do good. Sometimes we just or wake up cranky and we piss somebody off, or somebody pisses us off. It's part of our human experience, but how do we handle it? Do we stay centered? Do we stay calm? Or do we react? It's
Well,
up to us. It's up to us.
depends if you're an element of fire or if you're an element of water.
Mhm.
That also has a lot to come. So if you're an element of fire, then your first will be to fight. And then you can't help because that's your birth chart. You're in
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. That's in my
If
birth
you're an
chart.
element of water, then you're like, oh, I'm going to let these pass through, right? These are going to, so I started looking into,
Oh, I did actually. I started looking into that, and I don't have the exact time that I was born. I've been trying to get closer and closer to it because my birth certificate doesn't have it, and I actually called my father too, and he's like, I know you were born at night, but I don't know what time. So it's funny. I did the astrology thing, and I put that I was born at 7 p.m. at night on January 6, 1978. And then it said that, one of the things that came up, and it's funny because I always felt that I was a water element more than anything because I love the water. I'm like a little mermaid. I just go in the water and everything changes for me. If I could be super depressed, you put me in the water and everything just shifts, But I realized that my water element it's way down here, and I'm fire. I'm that feisty fire. Ignites. If you look at my podcast, it says ignite your energy.
fire too. And we have to acknowledge those deities that are with us. We have the fire energy, we have the water energy. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. And so many other elements, then there's the, all your different energy signatures from all different timelines, were you part of Atlantis? Were you part of the ancient Egyptian, culture? I mean, where do we come from?
Our timeline this is what I kind of theorize. And the soul comes through, and I believe the sun is a portal, of course.
Yes.
Through, there is, now I know this for a fact, that, when you look at, I forget the name, but there's these written things over there in Mexico. You look down and you see this big bird.
Okay.
It's there. Somebody made it. But you can only see it from up there.
Okay.
So if you're flying, Machu Picchu, something. I'm sorry, I don't know the name.
Where is it at? What country?
I think it's New Mexico. And it's on a mountain, which no one would ever see. But when you're flying, you can actually see it, that it's like an Aztecian bird.
Okay. I
know right there. That right there is, they've already said it. I follow remote viewers, and they said that right there is like, when travelers are coming, they're like, okay, we are now in this timeline, 2025. This is the timeline, because that's the times that I personally think that every single soul goes through the Egyptian times, goes through the Christian times. Everybody goes through, because you know what? There are so many Marys out there. There are so many King Tuts out there. There are so many. You would think it would just be one. But I'm Mother Mary too. Oh, no, I'm Mother Mary. No, I was Mother Mary. But what? So there's something there that there's like, if you want to come to Earth, you have to go through this, then you have to go through this, then we're this or this, and then you got to come through these timelines, which is the dinosaur timeline. You have to go through these to come out of where we are now, and then to process out of this. A lot of people are calling this whatever, prison planet. I don't see it as a prison planet, but then I do see it as a prison planet. It just, I don't know. It's the matrix. That's the matrix.
Yeah, we incarnate. So yes, a lot of these ascended masters are actually starting to reincarnate in this timeline again to help with everything with the shift of the earth and all that. And they're being born into the new kids, the new babies that are coming in. They're even coming into older people. It doesn't matter really the age. It just depends on where you are in your frequency. The higher the frequency, the more you could connect not only to your higher self, but you could connect to, ascended masters. You could connect to anybody. That's what Jesus did. That's what Yogananda did. All these ascended masters, they're coming back. There's thousands of them. It's just not a few of them. There's thousands of ascended masters, and they're gonna come. They're already coming. And it's gonna be it's to help us, to help humanity, because we've fucked this whole freaking earth up, man. We really have. We really have. And it's funny because even through COVID, everybody's like so much chaos, and I'm looking at it as the earth needed a fucking break from us. Yes, we lost a lot of people. We did, but that was nothing that we did. That was something that, if we don't take care of our health, when shit comes, you're gonna be the first one to be gone. That's just the reality. It's sad, but it's the fucking reality. But I prefer looking at it in a good way, in a different perspective, and saying, you know what? The earth needed a break from us humans, because we've been destroying this earth. We haven't taken care of it. That to me is crazy. How do we come in here and be so freaking ungrateful and not take care of the earth that's holding us here to be able to have experiences and live life how we want to? It's like that's something that came to me this week. I'm like, you know what? I have been so ungrateful. So ungrateful. And it's not that I was intentionally ungrateful. It's just that the decisions, the life that I decided to live, the traumas and the dramas that I decided to be in and experience didn't allow me to be grateful. I couldn't see beauty in front of me for shit. And now I'm like, you know what? I was so ungrateful. Even as being able to experience being a mom, I now realize, wow, I took that for granted in so many different ways because I was not mentally healthy to do anything else at that time. But yes, I was ungrateful in a way. I took life for granted. I took my experiences for granted. And I'm not willing to do that anymore. I don't want to take, my life for granted anymore. I don't want to take the experiences that this beautiful earth, this beautiful timeline life has for me. I want to experience life to the fullest. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I don't want to be like how I was before. There's no fun in that.
Good. So you don't. That's all.
So I don't. So
that's just a mind switch. That's how quick it is. I mean, if you realize that you're allowed to, then you will switch it. And then you'll always remember every day. Okay. And then we have a thing. So I don't know if it's 7 times. It could be 21 times.
Yeah.
Just like a smoker. If you stop smoking for 21 days, then you may stop.
You may not. Because I know I did stop for 3 months here and a few months there, and I went back to it many times, and I stopped a little over 3 years ago, and I've never been back. But it was a decision that I needed to make because I thought I was going to die. My health was getting bad because of all my mental health, because of everything that I was going through. I was smoking more and more and more every day.
And you know what? Smoking actually makes your mental health worse, because it's already been told that when people go outside and they're nervous and they smoke some more, they're actually making their system more nervous by taking in the pollutants.
But do not tell a smoker that. Do not tell a smoker that, because you will tell. It's true. It is.
If I would have known that I'm smoking and I'm hurting myself and I'm making my anxiety worse.
Yes. Well, you know what's funny? As a former smoker, you would tell me that, because people would tell me that shit, and even my sister, and I would be like, but I need to smoke because it's the only time that I have to go outside and relax and be with myself, with my thoughts, and do this. And guess what? I was making myself so freaking unhealthy. But that was my only way to my only coping mechanism that I really had. It was my own choice, not somebody else's choice. It was my choice. And now I look back to a little over 3 years ago, and shit, I don't need to smoke. I actually smell cigarettes now, and it makes me like, it's nasty. It's nasty. I'm like, what was I thinking? But you know what? What can I do? I grew up around my father that smoked. My grandmother was a smoker. My grandfather smoked cigars. To me, it was normal. To me, it was familiar. It was normal. And now it's like, no, I'll pick up a cigar here and there. Sometimes I'll light up a cigar for my grandfather. My ancestors, they love that. And I'll just light it up, put it there, and that's it. My husband likes to have a cigar here and there. I'll smoke one, but not a whole thing. I'll take a few puffs and that's it. But it's nasty. It's like sometimes I'm like, why do I even still pick this up, you know, every 2 or 3 years? Like, why do I just want to smoke a little cigar? And I don't smoke at all. It's just by connection. In a way, it's my own connection to my grandfather. It's like I still have that little connection with him because that's all he did. He loved smoking cigars. That was his thing. So I do that. I light up the cigar, and I say, here you go. This is your cigar, and I put it down and just take 1 or 2 hits, and that's it. Put it down. It's for him. It's not for me. It's still bad.
That's not bad.
Anyway, but we've touched up on a lot of mental health stuff and things in our perspective, and I don't know, what else do you want to bring up in this episode? Because I know we could talk forever.
I think we're good for today.
We're good. Okay. So we'll leave it there, and if anything else pops up, then we will,
We'll definitely do it again. Absolutely, anytime.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure to have you, and audience, if you guys want to bring in some comments, ask us any questions, anything, we're more than happy to, respond to those messages, those comments. Make sure that to keep the comments in the light with beauty and love, because we're here just to bring love forward. And yes, we talk about our experiences, but it's just to kind of give you a starting point to where we came from and where we're at right now with our own journeys, separate journeys. But I want to thank you, Patty, for being on the show. And, of course, you're welcome back anytime. I love you so much. I love my girls. So, yeah, of course. And I just ask the audience to please subscribe and like and comment so we can keep this channel growing. Thank you, Patty.
Welcome.